hear your thoughts on Tom Thibodeau signing with the Knicks. Is it a good move? Do you like the move? Do you feel like they should have signed somebody else? What's your take? Start with G-Day. Oh, let's start with Chris.
No. If you G-Day, you want to start, that's up to you.
Nah, dog, you got it. That's why I muted myself.
All right, so, for those who don't know, the Knicks is my team. They've been my team for forever. I support them through everything, through all the tough times. The Tibbs signing is not the worst thing they could do. Is the first thing that came to my mind. It's like, okay, I see what they try to do. They went for a guy with the name. That's what the Knicks always do. They try to go for the big names. I think everyone's first reaction was like, damn, he's going to ruin the young people because he blows people out. That's what he's known for. And to that, I kind of get that. I hope that's not the case. But I feel like, personally, I feel like he's probably learned by now. Like, I think I read an article or something recently where he was talking about that. Where he was like, you know what? I've kind of learned my lesson that I can't keep playing these players now. This is not the climate for that. Now it's like people take rest days and whatnot. So he's got to adjust. I feel like, he'll take that. He might still play him like 30, 32 or something instead of like 35 minutes. But still, like, I don't think he'll be blowing them out, or at least I hope not. And, of course, he's known for his defense, so I think that's a good thing. The Knicks have always been known for not having good defense. I don't think he's going to, like, change the team overnight, but I think that he can bring some good things to the team, and I feel like the Knicks have good, like, defensive pieces. Like, Mitchell Robinson can be a monster, in the right defensive scheme. Frank Ntilikina, he seems like he's got, like, the defensive talents. Like, he's big, long. He could do it. I think he just needs the right coach to kind of help him out a little bit. So I feel like, he might help. I heard another one was Kenny Atkinson, like another person who auditioned or not auditioned, but whatever, interviewed. I feel like he might have been, I don't know if he would have been better, but I mean, just to see what he did with the Nets, their rivals, where he took all these players that were like nobody really wanted, and he kind of took them to the next level. Like, who heard of Spencer Dinwiddie before, the Nets? And even, I'm blanking on his name. The dude who went to the Warriors and then got traded.
D'Angelo?
Yeah, D-Will. Him, even, like, D'Lo, my bad, D'Lo. Yeah, he got, basically, like, sent out of Lakers for what he did, and then he kind of found his step playing for the Nets. So I feel like that would have been good for the young people. But I think Tibbs isn't a bad, pick. My biggest issue with it is 5 years. It's like, bro, why do they keep giving people like these long contracts? Say what you want about Dolan. He's kind of ruining the franchise. I don't think they're gonna win with him there, but at least like he's paying the bills. Like, are we still paying David Fizdale? We probably are. Are we still paying? I'm blanking on everyone's name. We're paying everybody, man. We're just giving out contracts and then letting people go after like 1 or 2 years. So I feel like it's a little bit too long. But hey, if he's willing to pay for it, it's whatever. Overall, I think they could have done worse. I think it's a solid pick. It's not like they can get much worse from here. So that's my thoughts.
True.
I think they're still paying Porzingis and Josh Smith, even though he ain't play there. My thoughts about the Tibbs signing. Basically, it's like what I posted on Instagram. He's either gonna make or break Frank Ntilikina. He's either gonna live up to the number 8 pick, or he's just gonna be the bust that we all assumed he is. Like, there's no in between. This hiring, I'm not mad at it because, like Chris said, you can't get any worse. So it's only up from here. It's only been up since James Dolan took over. So it's depressing, but it's the lifestyle y'all choose to live as a Knicks fan.
I think it's funny because a lot of people were saying in that draft they should have got Dennis Smith, and now they have Dennis Smith, and Dennis Smith's not doing anything for the team. So
I mean, he's injured. So
I mean, still, even then. I to touch on what you said, Chris. getting Kenny Atkinson versus Tom Tibbs. I think it's just two different philosophies. You know, Kenny Atkinson is more of a player development type of guy, more of a give him 5 years and see if he could turn your franchise around. Tom Tibbs, to me, is more of a the pieces are already in place. We're just trying to win now type of situation. So what do you think Tom Tibbs brings to the Knicks? I know you touched up on it about, you know, defense and some of the pieces that the Knicks already have, but what do you think? Well, let's start with Gita. What do you think Tom Tibbs is going to bring to the Knicks?
Conditioning. He gonna make them run. They gonna get this work. They gonna get this work. Come to the Knicks, you gonna get this work. But no, it's like basically conditioning. I think he's gonna bring out the defensive potential in each player, and hopefully he doesn't injure them. Like, that's all I can really say. Like, bro, Jimmy Butler made the All-Star team and didn't play because he was too tired from playing with the Wolves. How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you make someone so tired they don't want to even play in the All-Star game? All-Star game. We ain't talking about preseason. We ain't talking about the finals. The All-Star game.
Ain't talking about practice?
We're talking about the All-Star game. The game in which you were chosen to play because you're one of the best players in the league. And this man said, I'm tired. I'm sitting down. Don't win this for me.
Man.
But legit, it's either, all I'm seeing is he's either going to bring conditioning, defense, the defense potential out of each player. And hopefully, I'm not going to lie. I feel like he's Frank's coach, in my opinion. He's Frank's coach. We're gonna see what Frank can do under him. If he can't do anything, he's probably gonna be out the league soon.
I shouldn't laugh, but I mean it's true. It's true. I feel like he's on his last legs for sure. What do you think, Chris?
Definitely. I mean, defense. You know, conditioning, all that. I think that's just tied to who he is as a person. You know, that's what you're gonna get. I think something else that we might get besides that, he might be able to bring out, you know, some of the players' talents, I think, just because, like, you know, I don't think he's ever really been in a situation where his team is really, like, a really good three-point shooting team. You know, like, Derrick Rose is never really a three-point shooter. You know, he had to learn that. The Bulls team, I don't think, were really a three-point shooting team. Even with Minnesota, you know, I mean, Towns is an amazing three-point shooter, but outside of him, it didn't look like there was a lot there. Like, they just weren't known for that. So he's good at, like, taking these slashing people and these, like, mid-range and, I don't know, just, like, 2-point, you know, plays. I feel like maybe Dennis Smith Jr. might be good under him. He might be able to slash more or something. So I feel like maybe that's, like, his underdog skill or something, whatever is the word for that. You know, like, you might not think it, but he might be able to bring that out of these players, I think.
Okay. So final question, and this is going to be an interesting one. Gita, you touched up on it a little bit. One player that's going to benefit the most from Tom Tibbs being on the team, and one player who is going to, I don't want to use the word suffer, but I guess is not going to benefit at all from having Tom Tibbs on the team. Gita, you can go first.
Something I just remembered, Julius Randle's on that team. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I forgot he was on that team. But I'm here talking about Frank. I forgot about RJ Barrett. I forgot the Knicks were a team. I was just saying about Frank. But yeah, so you already know my pick for the player that's gonna succeed under him, or who I think should succeed under him, which is gonna be Frank. The player that's probably gonna suffer, Julius Randle. I don't think Tibbs gonna allow him to do what he's doing, have the tunnel vision, trying to put the ball in the basket. That's really what he's been doing, even when he was in LA. So, yeah, I think his numbers are gonna his touches are gonna decrease, and I think he's probably gonna help nurture. I forgot about RJ Barrett. I forgot bro, RJ Barrett was the number 3 pick, and nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about how this guy to help him. But I think he's gonna grow into a player under Tibbs, depending on how long he's there. You know how New York be get fired in like 2 days. So
Yeah.
For as long as he's there, I believe everybody's gonna succeed in their own way. Julius Randle, I just see his touches and not his minutes because Tom, but his touches are gonna go down. I think they're gonna play through the star who is RJ Barrett, and I'm not gonna lie, even under Tibbs, I still don't even see the Knicks making the playoffs. That's the mist around that whole franchise. You had as long as if you don't have a star, like a star that comes there, like the way Carmelo forces way over there, you're not there's I don't even see you. I see you in the lottery for as long as you're gonna be there. I don't see the Knicks as a place where you come to grow and become an all-star. You go there when you're an all-star, and then you leave after you're not an all-star.
Okay. Nah, I agree. I agree on that one too. Another player that no one's talking about is Kevin Knox. Dude was only
shoot!
2 years ago. He was only drafted 2 years ago. People were comparing him to KD because of his size. Don't forget. The Knicks could have had Michael Porter Jr. Don't forget that. I remember watching that draft. I don't remember exactly where Knox was picked. Maybe he was picked like 9th or 12th, I believe. And Porter was what, like 15th? He was in the teens. He slipped to the Nuggets.
He was the last lottery pick.
The Knicks could have had him. I know they didn't want him because of the injuries, and they were kind of scared about the injury stuff. But just think about if they had Michael Porter Jr. versus Kevin Knox.
Hey, they will get him. Give him a couple of years. Once he's almost out of the league, they're gonna get him.
In fact, toss him that veteran's minimum, that mid-level exception. Yeah.
In New York, the veteran minimum is 130 million, 2 years.
Jeez.
The way they be throwing money.
Chris, who do you think is who's going to benefit the most under Tom Thibodeau, and a player who will, not benefit at all from Tom Thibodeau?
Someone that I think everyone's forgetting, who's gonna really take off under Thibodeau, Taj Gibson. Nah, I'm playing. I mean, maybe Tibbs might use him more because he knows him. But I feel like Mitchell Robinson, I feel like he might help him to get less foul trouble, maximize his defensive potential. Maybe might teach him a couple things on like scoring, because I know his scoring is still on the inside. He's more known for his defense, so I think that might help him out. Player that won't benefit, same thing as G-Day. I feel like Julius Randle with his play style, it just won't mesh well. He just kind of, I don't know if it's just because of the systems he's been in, but he just seems like low energy. Like he's just, I don't know if he's there on defense. And I don't think that's gonna fly with Tibbs, because he's got a reputation for like, if you get on his bad side, you're not getting minutes. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Oh man, I'm surprised neither of y'all said Kevin Knox. I feel like his future's kind of up in the air at this point.
The reason I didn't say him is because I remember I read an article like a while ago. It's like the Knicks are basically giving up on him. I read that. I was like, he's not a bad player. I feel like New York is the place you go when you're established, and even then, once you're established, you don't want to go there because they don't have anything. All they have is money, and that's the only reason people. I feel like the only reason people go to New York is for the money. They haven't been relevant since Patrick Ewing.
Dang, shoot.
Actually, no. I'm sorry. Since Carmelo. And even then, you made the playoffs once the whole time he was there.
Yeah. That's definitely not ideal. Another player that y'all could have picked, and you may not have the foresight to, predict, but who they're going to get in the draft, because that's going to be interesting, especially under Tibbs, because it may have been, comparing Tibbs' offensive system versus someone like maybe Kenny Atkinson, a player like Killian Hayes, who is like a 6'5", 6'4" point guard, kind of has a similar build to D'Lo. That might be someone that, Atkinson could have really unlocked. Someone like LaMelo, point guard. We're just assuming that the Knicks draft a point guard here. It's possible that they don't. They could draft someone like, Devin Vassell. I feel like just the draft kind of changes with this mindset of Tibbs being the coach. Like Tibbs could pressure the front office to draft a guy like Devin Vassell, or depending on where the Knicks, fall, someone like James Well, not James Wiseman. That would be a silly pick. Something the Knicks would do.
I'm gonna veto the trade. I'm gonna veto the pick. I'm not even part of the NBA. I'm gonna veto the pick. So I'm like, stop. Why are you being stupid?
So that kind of concludes, what we got today. We need to do a Knicks rebuild for sure. Definitely. With this one, we got to do a Knicks rebuild. We need to take a whole, not a day, even though we might need 24 hours. We might need 24 hours to rebuild the Knicks.
Bro, that's something we should do.
just take
each of us go on 2K, just rebuild the Knicks, see who runs the best thing after like 10 seasons.
After 10 seasons. We gotta do a whole meeting here and rebuild the Knicks. Talk about off-season moves that you guys think they should make. I was talking to Jose, and I was trying to get Jose to do a Hawks rebuild with me, and just tell me what he thinks the moves the Hawks should make. I think personally, and this is not here nor there. We'll say that for later. But I think the Hawks I think they should trade the pick. I honestly think they should trade the pick. And I don't know if they'll be able to get him, but Jonathan Isaac, 6'11", small forward, power forward, decent at shooting threes. He's a defensive player of the year candidate when he's healthy. You can slide him in at 3 or 4. I know they got Capella, but you can slide him in at 3 or 4. You can play off of Trae Young. Honestly, with the Hawks, you're building the team around Trae Young anyway. Like, it's built around Trae Young. It's Trae Young's team. I kind of see Trae Young like a Steve Nash. Like, he's a playmaker. The ball is going to be in his hands. He can shoot, arguably better than Nash. But outside of Trae Young, you're going to need defenders. You're going to need versatile guys who can defend multiple positions. You're going to need a 5 who can defend the rim. And I think Jonathan Isaac gives you a little bit of all of that while also being someone who can spot up. And if he works on his offensive game, he'll be able to take advantage of more mismatches, especially when teams decide to switch. I think he'd be a great person to put next to Trae Young, ideally. If possible, if not him, I don't know if the Celtics would do it, but Marcus Smart, he's 6'4".
No, stop that right now.
Kind of short. I'm saying ideally, of course. I don't know.
I let that defense player of the year thing slide. There's no way he's a candidate for defensive player of the year. There's no way he's defensive. He's not even healthy. He's not healthy.
Jonathan Isaac is definitely defensive player of the year material.
Bro, maybe in a few years, but he needs to stay healthy first. I'm not thinking about this man as a defense. I'm not even thinking this thing as a player. Yo, I'm sorry, but we don't see enough of him. He's injured most of the time.
I didn't even know who that was.
He's on the Magic. Small forward.
If anything, he needs to get out of Orlando. Every big man needs to get out of Orlando because that's all they draft.
Mo Bamba.
Bro.
Ballin'.
I like him being on the Hawks. I can see him as a small forward. If you still have Clint Capella, he's the center. John Collins is the power forward. Kevin Huerter, Trae Young. I like that lineup. But I'm sorry, that defensive player thing, that's what caught me off guard. Like, there's no way.
I'm telling you, you sleep on him.
I'll believe it once he stays on the court.
Yo, he's from the Bronx. The Knicks should get him.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro. All you need to make that trade happen, well, not all you need, but Magic wants some pieces. You got pieces, some offensive pieces. Well, I don't know if you got offensive pieces. Maybe knock pick, but I don't think you should give up this pick. I think this pick has to be LaMelo, Edwards, or Killian Hayes. If I'm drafting, if I'm the Knicks.
Nah, I feel like the Knicks should draft Obi Toppin.
I don't think so. I don't. That wouldn't be a bad pick, honestly. But I don't feel like
because they got mad point guards. They just didn't develop any of them.
That's why you gotta get rid of all of them.
You get more point guards. You just keep drafting point guards. That's what the Knicks.
Send Dennis Smith and Frank to Orlando for Jonathan Isaac or Mo Bamba. Mo could play the power forward.
That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That trade is. You forget they got Markelle Fultz. They got Fultz, man. They got Fultz.
Okay.
They traded a first round for
All you
both.
gotta do is convince them. All you gotta do is convince them. You have too many big men. You have Aaron Gordon, you got Mo Bamba, you got Nikola Vucevic, you got Jonathan Isaac. Probably got some other people who aren't famous.
It'll be easier for the Knicks to pluck Aaron Gordon than Jonathan Isaac. It's same with the Hawks too. Probably be easier to pluck Aaron Gordon than Jonathan Isaac. And I don't think Aaron Gordon would be a bad pick for either team. Well, maybe for the Knicks because the Knicks need spacing. Like if RJ is going to succeed, they need spacing. So I'm thinking a guy like Bertans who can shoot. He's on a 1 year. He should be free agent. Maybe looking to get some money, maybe short term or long term. Probably short term so he can re-up given the cap situation. But some spacing in there so RJ and whoever the point guard is, they have more space to maneuver. Like RJ's not a shooter yet. You know, the jump shot is going to get better as the years pass, but he's a driver. So give him some space down there.
Or he has his hands on Pringle, ready to go.
I'm going to throw out a hot take. The Knicks are the most exciting team, most exciting franchise in NBA history.
Yeah,
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Okay. What other team can you tell me has as many rumors about who they're going to get than the Knicks? You can't tell me the thought of the Knicks getting KD, Kyrie, and Zion was not exciting.
Bro,
Next year, who's going to be? They're going to get LaMelo Ball. They're going to trade. You know, LeBron's going to try and come over here. They're going to trade for Damian Lillard. He already was in the news saying he thought that he was going to get traded to the Knicks. LeBron said he wanted to go to the Knicks in 2010. The most exciting franchise because of what could be. It might not happen, but just the thought of it, the prospects, that's exciting right there. That's why you're.
Let me react to that. Paul wanted to go to the Knicks in 2010. That was his first choice. You know what they did? They botched the meeting. How do you botch the meeting with someone who wants to be there? No one wants to go to New York now. You had a chance 10 years ago. And you let him go to Miami, which is a great decision. Thank you very much. Thank you, New York. You gave him 2 championships.
Everyone wants to go to New York. They don't want to play for the Knicks. They want to go to New York.
I like that. I like that. Well, let me chime in on that. Expectation, Zion. Reality, Julius Randle. Expectation, LeBron. Reality, DeMar DeRozan. Let's not get in over ourselves here, y'all. DeMar DeRozan is probably the most talented player I see the Knicks getting. For some reason, I feel like the Knicks would sign him. I don't know why, but I just get a feeling like the Knicks would be like, you know what? He's a name. He's someone to put on the squad. We got DeMar DeRozan now. We got him next to RJ. We got no one who can shoot threes on this team. We have names. We have guys who you'll hear about. We have guys with all-star appearances. The Knicks need to. I think the Knicks. I was telling my brother this a while back. I was saying the Knicks need to go the traditional route. They're trying to go the LA Celtics route of just making trades and signing free agents instead of developing players. Look at what your team is now and set realistic expectations. Stop trying to cash in every summer and be a contender the next year. Continuing to do that leaves you with no players. It leaves you with bad coaching decisions. It leads you with no direction as an organization. Like the whole organization has no direction. If you were to ask like the main, the GM, the president, the owner, where is this team going in 5 years? You don't know because every summer they're trying to cash out. Watch. Next summer they're going to be talking about, you're going to hear the Giannis going to the Knicks rumors. He's not going to the Knicks. I'm sorry. No one is going to the
Worldwide West. He's got connections. All right.
There's a better chance of him going to the Warriors and the Hawks than the Knicks. Let's be real. Be real.
I know who wants to go to the Knicks. Chris, Mr. Allen. Yo, man, like.
Yeah. So yeah, that concludes. You know what I'm saying, this episode. Tibbs, I'll pray for the Knicks, man. That's all I could do. And rebuild them on 2K. That's the only 2 things I could do right now. I'm gonna cross my fingers. I hope for the sake of the young guys on the squad. And maybe Taj Gibson gets 48 minutes a night. He loves that, but we'll see.
He said he loves that. You gonna get this work. Come to New York, you gonna get this work.
Taj is gonna get 48 minutes a night, bro. 48.
You gonna get 49. Not even 49 minutes. That's how much work he gonna get.
He's gonna be an assistant coach too.